Welcome to day 2. You're not dead yet. So, you'll be camped out somewhere in Hana. That Hana sunrise is astounding. You can explore the right side of Hana Bay. That's what's on the schedule there. It's kind of a hidden spot. It's very beautiful place to snorkel. There's a red sand beach there. Watch out for those currents a little bit. If you brought an inner tube and some rope, you can inner tube there. If you don't feel like jumping in and snorkeling or chilling or whatever, you can climb up on that Pu'uku Islet Seabird Sanctuary. That's pretty cool. The big islanders used to canoe over there and get up on top of that island and harass the locals while they're prepared to invade the rest of Maui. It's a pretty cool place overall. I've mapped out that trail. It's a pretty hidden trail, so thank me. You're welcome. That's item 1 on the itinerary. You might want to get some gas. We talked about that. Hana Ranch Restaurant if you need supplies, and then next real item is that Venus pool. It's a little bit south on the road. Enjoy that ride. It's a really beautiful area. I've marked out the trailhead. It's a little bit difficult to find that trail, but I've led you the best I can. You know what? It's not that difficult. I've led you the best I can there. You'll find it in short order. You can jump off the rock there. You can swim through the pool to the actual beach, but watch the water that's coming down off of the hill. If it's raining, don't jump in there because it might push you out to sea. So just be aware of some of those things. Pretty cool area though. You can either jump off that rock, I think it's like 20 feet, or you can climb down the rocks to your right hand side if you're facing the pool. And then go southwest down the road to the PPY Trail or the Waimoku Falls Trail. That's actually the #1 hike on the island, people say. Second best hike on the island by popular vote. And there's a waterfall on the end. Waimoku Falls, I think that means like danger or crash your head in Hawaii, or like water crashes your head in. But it's pretty cool. There's a bamboo forest. It looks like you have to go into the Kipahulu Visitor Center, which is part of the Haleakala State Park. Yeah, try all these words. And you would need to pay or show them a state parks pass in order to do that. But you don't really need to go into that center in order to do this trail. You park where I've indicated that the trailhead is, just off the side of the road. You do that trail. It's not so bad of a trail. Unfortunately, you cannot go into the waterfall or the waterfall pool. Given the name, smash your head in Hawaiian, etc. Then there's Ale Ale Falls, which is further down the road. That's not really far of a trail at all, but the water is very clear and it's cold, and it's a beautiful waterfall. Last great waterfall in the area, as you notice, is starting to get drier and drier. It's departing from the that heavy rainforest. That's pretty cool. There are some minor things if you want to go farther along the coast away from Hana, but it gets more and more barren. What you can do, if you really need an adventure and you have enough gas, if you're on a moped or you're on a motorcycle and you don't need, you have a lot of gas, you can go farther along that road. Now, not south, but just west pretty much, and go up the backside of Hana, which is a feat that you can brag to people about. It's pretty cool. It's circumnavigating the island, and then you get to see the sunset from Maui wine there. If you do need gas, you keep going along Highway 37. That gas station, the single gas station on Highway 37, is probably not going to be open though. I don't want to mislead you. That's really if you want an extra adventure. It's cool. I would do it. There's not a lot to see there. It's pretty barren, scraggly land. But if you want an extra adventure, there it is. I'd do it one time. Be aware that in the afternoon, that wind is pretty strong, but it's going to be blowing from east to west. So if you go there, if you go west in the afternoon and then east at night, and that area is spectacularly beautiful at night, but a little bit dangerous to ride because it's not lit at all. If you go back at night, then you won't run into that wind. But if you want to go east on that road in the afternoon, that's some really high winds. I've been on that road in the afternoon with some high winds, and that was a death-defying experience. Truly, it's pretty strong, and that's a pretty steep drop off. But the sunset is crazy beautiful from that spot. You can't see it, but you have a crazy vantage point of the whole island, and the West Maui Mountains, that Kaho'olawe island to the south that was bombed. The water table was bombed out of existence by the military. And Lanai, that's owned by Larry Ellison. It's kind of strange. And Molokai, that mysterious island that's left. You can see all those. It's spectacularly beautiful. It's a cool ride. Enough on that. We talked about the campgrounds. There's Waianapanapa. There's Caroline's Fruit Stand, which is expensive for what it is. Cool. You have a bathroom and stuff, but it's expensive. Hana Bay or the Red Sand Beach. We're moving on to day 3. Day 3, you're pretty much getting up and getting out of Hana. You probably want to get gas, but that gas station doesn't open until 7:30, I believe. So if that's going to stop you, you might want to get gas at night. So you're going to get to Mana Foods first. Paia Town, really. You have the gas station as well. There's food. There's some okay food options. I'm not recommending any of them at this point because there's a lot of cool stuff left to do on this day. So from Paia Town, you're going to go along the north coast through Kahului. I wouldn't spend a lot of time in Kahului. It's just a jumping city. And I've routed you along the north coast. If I routed you to the destination on the west coast, it might take you along the south of the West Maui Mountains to get there. So, and the point is to ride along this north coast area because it's crazy beautiful, and it's an even crazier beautiful ride on a motorcycle. You will be riding on the outside, and it is a little bit of a scary road. So you're gonna have to, take your time and be scared, but it's crazy beautiful. It's really worth it. The landmark that I've plotted along the way is Pu'u Koa'e. It's a giant rock that one of the Hawaiian kings, I forget his name right now, used to jump off of every day just to, prove he was a man. When you see it, you'll be aghast at how big that is, and you're like, this dude jumped off of here every single day? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Right after that, you'll know you're there because you'll see the I forget what it's called, the rock, and then you'll see an art gallery there. There's a tiny bay in the city there. They don't really like people being loud there, but it's a really beautiful area. Tiny bay there. You'll get to the olivine pools that we'll talk about later. Not a stop for today. And just a lot of beautiful spots on this north coast. It's crazy beautiful. Treacherous a little bit to ride, but crazy beautiful. And then you'll be at coming around the north coast. You'll be traveling southwest at this point. You'll hit the Kapalua Coastal Trail. Access is kind of limited there, so I've said that you can try to park at DT Fleming and see if that's where you want to do your all-night fishing tonight, or you can just go ahead a little bit further down the road and see if there's parking at the Dragon's Teeth Access Trail and check out the Dragon's Teeth. Possibly jump on it. It's a rock outcropping. It's pretty cool. You have great views of the island of Molokai there. You can jump off to the left if you see a turtle. I've seen some turtles there. Or you can continue on the Kapalua Coastal Trail. I have a Word document full of maps for these kinds of things, trail maps. Or you can follow some of the Google My Map pins that I've dropped. It's pretty cool. All of those beaches are spectacular. And as you get to the west side of some of those beaches, there's places to jump in, see a lot of fish. Pretty cool. I think the Kapalua Coastal Trail is the third or fourth best trail on the island. Third best trail on the island. Very stunning. Next stop is Black Rock. It's pretty cool. Parking is a little bit difficult for this. Oh, excuse me. Times Supermarket if you want to get dinner supplies. There's some cool places to eat around here, around this area, but they're kind of expensive. There's a separate tab in the Google My Maps where I've shortlisted. Thank you, me. Oh, you're welcome. I've shortlisted a lot of the restaurants that are supposed to be just spectacularly good regardless of their price, and then I've marked the amount of money that they cost, like Yelp, like by how many dollar signs, and ones that I'd recommend and stuff like that. I think there's gray ones that are good but hard to access, so I don't specifically recommend them, and then there's dark red ones that they're less expensive. You still get a good value and they're less expensive, and then there's scarlet colored ones that are good, their accessibility is okay, and they might be more expensive. But if you just want the streamlined tour, you can get some dinner supplies here. I do have a single recommendation for dinner that's going to be in walking distance, but it'll be a little bit expensive, and maybe not your cup of fish, cup of tea. Anyway, as I was saying, Black Rock Beach, that's hard to get to. If you look at the map, it's difficult to park there. Maybe you don't really know where you're parking, and when you finally find a spot, you might be able to validate your ticket, but if you don't validate your ticket, it's $40, and if you do validate your ticket, you buy something for like $30, and then you still, you only get like $15 validated off of your ticket. So, as I said, I recommend some risky options here. There's a parking lot that I've labeled in black. It's called Black Rock Parking B. And it is accessible, as Einstein would say. It is not accessible, as police might say. You know what I'm saying? You physically can do it if you're on two wheels. And I've parked there before. Or you can pay $40 and park where it's legal to park. Or you could say you don't want to do it at all. I'd say it's worth doing one time. It's a really spectacular beach. You're looking across the. It's spectacular because you're looking across the Au channel, and the Pailolo channel, and the Kalui channel to see Lanai and Molokai. You can see both of those. It's really spectacular, and you can see the whole area, the town area of Ka'anapali. You can see a lot of those, but there's from the shoreline, but there's really not a lot of unobstructed shoreline where you don't have to pay a lot for parking and go through resorts and buy stuff to get there. So I'm saying this is the coolest thing to do. I've shown you how to do it. It's worth doing just once, whether you want to take a risk on parking or you want to pay a lot for parking. Check it out just once. You can go to the far right side of that beach. You can take the treacherous small climb to that Black Rock and jump off. That's pretty cool. I've done it before. There's some cool fish there. The water's very clear. I forgot to mention, if you're going to park in that Black Rock Parking B that I've recommended in black, you're going to have to go to a hotel person and ask them how it is you get down to Black Rock. You can't see it in the 2 dimensions, but you got to take an elevator up and then take the walkway over and then take an elevator back down and then walk through the thing and head, shoulders, knees and toes. Tip the basket, have some communion, say hi to the priest, like all this stuff. But it's worth it. It's worth it. And then after that, it's a great place to, hang out. There's not a lot of social opportunities on the tour. But this is a big social area. It's pretty cool. And there's a Maui Brewing Co. Ka'anapali. It's decent. It's more for the location. It's pretty cool. I've recommended that. Or you can just get your supplies and have dinner right there. And I've recommended 2 overnight spots. There's Papalua Wayside Park. Papalua. That's a little bit farther down Highway 30. As I said before, on day 0, it's legal there. But there's also residents, permanent residents of the campsites that probably lost their home recently, or they're just, homeless on Maui. They've been living homeless on Maui for a while. They probably don't really want you there. And also, the county really wants you to know that they don't want you there, because it's $50 for non-resident adults and $5 for resident adults. But if you're under 18, it's $5. So, you have your options there. If you need to be legal, you have your options there. You can also go farther down to Highway 30 Beach. That is an all-night fishing spot. That is a non-permitted camping spot. I wouldn't really recommend that, but you have it there if you want. I don't recommend it because your bikes are not really safe. Anybody can come up on the highway and grab your bikes really quick and blast down on the highway. Both of those are in black because they're not the primary recommendation. I recommend that you all-night fish at DT Fleming Beach Park. I don't know why sometimes they call it Fleming and sometimes they call it DT Fleming. It's a good spot. I would conceal your bikes though. I would cover them with that green tarp that I'm going to recommend that you take. And I would put them in a tree line. Don't cover them in a green tarp in the parking lot because that really doesn't accomplish much. I would put them on the tree line, and I would be a little bit discreet in what you're doing. If you're going to all-night camp, I would suggest that you break camp. You set up camp after dark, and you break camp before like 7. And you can hang out there, and people will be cool with you hanging out there. The lifeguard that comes in the late morning will be cool with you hanging out there. But if you're like, hey, we camped here, it's super obvious, then you're going to have problems. But it's a pretty beautiful beach. It's very cool. It's very silent. It's kind of a bay area. That's enough of that.